Hi, very good day to everyone. Thank you very much for joining us today as well as usual in your BT Talks on Sunday. Today, I have a special topic, which is the talk that pays you off. Now, I have selected this topic because there are certain inquiries and certain recommends or certain requests from people that what is the impact of communication in your life and how can we improve that to speak before people and things like that. So I thought of picking this subject tonight. So let's have a look at it. Now, the first message that I want to tell you, which is a formula or a law, in fact, your communication skills, your talks that you deliver, the way you speak to people, that contributes about 80% of your earnings. 80% of your earnings. I don't know what profession are you from. You may be from legal background as a lawyer, you may be a marketer, you may be an engineer, you may be an accountant, you may be a doctor, psychotherapist, hypnotherapist, whoever it is. Whatever the profession you are into, you need to talk to your customers, to your clients, and that is what it brings the money for you. So the formula is this: 80% of your income, your earning, is contributed by your communication. The 20% is what we call the product, the services, whatever the after sales services you provide, anything you provide, that is contributed by 20% only. Because there are people, they have very good products and services, but there are no customers to buy because they don't know how to communicate. That is why this law applies to everyone. If you can learn how to speak before people, if you can learn how to communicate with people, it is going to make you a glorious future. Now, I have to prove this statement: 80% of your income, your earning, is contributed by your communication skills, your talking skills. I have to prove this. Now, you see politicians before people in the stages, they use words, they throw words to their public, their voters, to fool the people because they have the plan for the next elections. Politicians, leaders, they do the same thing. They throw the words to the people because to convince people to bring the country to the next level. That is their vision. To convince the people towards their vision, they throw the people, they use the people. Overnight, if you can become a powerful speaker, tomorrow you can rule the country, because the country ruled by people, they can speak well before people. That's all. That's the only strategy you need to have. If you can speak, you are a politician. If you have a vision and if you can speak, you are a great leader. And if you take a lawyer, lawyer's total profession is depending on the way he speaks. If you go to the courtroom, if you want to argue a case, it's about throwing the words to convince the judge to get the judgment in your favor. And judges, when they convinced, they deliver the judgment. It is also words. So word plays key roles. Leaders, politicians, lawyers, judges, all of those guys, they use words to convince people. They use words to do their business. Now, more than that, on top of it, if you take black magic is totally done by words. Now, they may ask you to bring some ingredients, all these black magicians, they may ask you to bring some ingredients. They may ask you to bring some herbs, some dead animals' flesh, some liquids, some sand from some place, some ash from some burnt body. You know, they ask you to bring all these ingredients. They are all easy. But 80% of the impact that you have is about the way they speak. They say something and they say, shh. That is it. You die. Your business goes lost. You get divorced. You get sick. This is what happens in black magic. And they use the words to control this, to happen this. I don't know how true it is, but the message for you is black magicians you're totally using words. I don't know how they do, but that's words. And if it is about hypnotherapy, hypnotizing, it is totally about word. Hypnotists, what they do, their clients, they speak to the clients and they bring the client's conscious level mind down to a subconscious level where they can correct all the mistakes that they have already. All the bugs will be fixed, and if there are any bad softwares or apps in the brain, they take it out and they install some better good programs in their brain, and they install it and they bring the level of that subconscious level mind to the conscious level mind, where you can behave like a fresh man. That is totally done by words. And if you take psychotherapy, if you take counseling, that is totally about words. Okay, so there's no doubt. Any profession that we have in this world, it is totally about words. It's not anything else other than that. 80% your success is depending on your words that you throw. Now, finally, I had to tell you this message because I want to establish this statement. This is relevant to every industry. Now you take an industry, construction industry, pharmaceutical industry, university, education, qualification industry, software industry, application industry, what else? Manufacturing industry, engineering, this, that, whatever you name it, every single industry, they do certain production, that's fine. However, whatever you produce, if you want to sell it, you need sales and marketing. So any business, they do business, they are manufacturing certain things or they're buying certain things, and they do the sales part as well. Every single business, running business in here, sales part is the key, marketing part is the key. And if you want to do the sales and the marketing, it's totally about words. You speak to your customer, you convince your customer, you do the sales. So every single business. And again, if you take yourself individually, personally, to convince your idea, to convince your partner to go out to a restaurant that you want to eat, you have to sell your idea. That is sales and marketing. If you want to get your child to listen to you, you have to sell your idea to your child. It is about talking and sales and marketing. So anything you do, your words. Now you see, if you have a problem, what you do, you go to your goats, whoever the god you believe in, you go to the god, and what you do, you just take your hands over to him and speak to him and say, I want this, I want to get out of this problem, I want this, I want that, I don't want this. Whatever you do, it's about words, totally words. So if you can master in this art, using how to use your word, knowing how to throw your words to the audience, you can easily convince people. That's it. Very simple logic. Now, for this one, the number one thing that I want to tell you is this, your preparation. Now, usually I prepared for this presentation, but not a long preparation, but I have done a shorter preparation here anyway. But I had a longer reading on this earlier, so that I'm using that expertise as well to deliver this speech in here. But there's a rule of Winston Churchill, former wartime Prime Minister of the UK. His law is this, an hour per minute. An hour a minute rule. What is it? If you won't speak before people 1 minute, you have to prepare an hour. If you have a 30-minute speech today before your cabinet, before your soldiers, before your public, before whoever, you have to prepare yourself for about 30 minutes, 30 hours, 30 minutes talk, 30 hours preparation. That is key. So the preparation that you do, you may read the relevant documents, you may collect information on those, you may take some notes on that, and you can put those notes in the right order. You can easily deliver the talk to the people so that you can convince people to listen to you, and you can keep the attention of the people towards you. So preparation is the key. You have to do this. That is number one strategy that you could use to make your presentation an attractive one, to keep your audience with you all the times. Now, I have brought in another message to you. This is, again, since these days, we do presentations using PowerPoint presentation slides. You never do any presentation, your marketing sales presentation, just face to face. You do that as well, but your modern day sales is about technology. You can do sales over internet, and you use slides, PowerPoint slides. If you want to speak to your people, your parties, if you want to convince the management, again, you use this boardroom where you have a projector and a screen so you can display what you have. Now, when you're displaying that, you have to make a big strategy there, which is this: you have to use images as possible, as how many as you can, because the language of your brain is image. It doesn't know letters much. Now, you see, I have a picture here. I don't know how many of you here, then I don't know how many of you are going to watch this later when I upload this on the YouTube. And you may be watching this from any part of the world. You may watch this from India, from Pakistan, where they speak Urdu, Hindi. You may go to African countries where they use different languages. You can go to other part of the world. They use their local language, any language they speak. If I show this image to them and ask them, what is this image about? Nobody would make any mistake. They would say, this is a mango. Don't you know? That's the question they ask. Because this image is known to every single brain. But when you write this in your language, you write in a way. In English, we write it mango, M-A-N-G-O. And if you say M-A-N-G-O to explain mango, nobody would understand unless you know the language. Most of the people, if they don't know the language, they would say, can you give me an image of that? Can you show me the photograph of it? Or can you explain that in my own language that I can understand? That is how it goes. Because the brain doesn't know the letter much. And there are different letters for each topic you're talking about, but there is only one image. This is why when you see someone after a long time, you tell the guy, hey guy, I know your face. I remember this face. I have seen this face sometimes back. What is your name? Because you never forget the face, but you forget the name. But you never say it this way, that I know your name, what is your face? You don't speak that way. Okay, so images. Now in this slide, I'm making this presentation specifically for this purpose, where I have used only images. I've never used any letters, 1 or 2 letter states, because to help you guys, not to me, because I know what I'm talking about. So when you make presentations, I would say 100% that you could contain with images. Anything, if you're talking about a country, you bring the country's prime minister, or you bring the country's geographical map, or you bring the country's flag, so that you know what you're talking about. Again, one more point. You know, in your presentation, if you want someone to keep your message in their brain forever, you need to show them the image, even a number. If you have a phone number, if you memorize the phone number, you would forget. But if you take the image of the number, you will never forget that. And I learned this art a couple of months ago. Then I wanted to go to a place to do some repairing, where I found the number of the guy. The place was closed. Then I took the image of it. I still remember, that's about 2 months on now. Then I witnessed, if you can remember things using images, you can keep it forever. Okay, so use images as possible in your presentation. That will make your presentation a great presentation. And again, your body language. Now, I have a couple of points in here to discuss that as well, where we use body language. It's a different topic, in fact, how to use your body language, but let me touch a few things in there. Now, if you keep your hand like this, we call this palm up. If you are a good speaker, if you are a good leader, good leaders, they always keep the hand this way than that way. This is palm down, this is palm up. Now, when you make a presentation this way, this means, hello, my people, my society, my country. Come to me, I want to help you. What can I do for you? That's how it shows, if you keep your hand like this. And if you keep your hand like this, hang on, let me help you. This is what I can do. Don't ask me more than that way. This is about controlling your public. If you keep your hand this way, palm down. And there's another one, you call this pointed finger. This is again warning people. If you don't do this, I would do this, something like that. So you have to learn this art as well, to use your hand to get your clients, your audience to get convinced. If you go in an arrogant way, they may not want to listen to you. So that you have to use the right one. You know, it doesn't mean that you always use like this. You may have to use this way, you may have to use this way, but be selective. Do the right body language so that you can convince your customers to listen to. And the main point is about when we are talking about body language, your eye contact. It is very important. Your eye impression. You have to keep your eyes all over your crowd. You should not focus onto one figure, one personality in the crowd. You have to go around, meaning you are telling them, you don't observe every single one, but you tell your audience that I'm considering everyone, I'm looking at everyone, I'm talking to everyone. So please listen to me that way. So you have to have the flow. You have to put your eyes, each row in every person in each row, and you have to go up to the end, front, back and forth that way, so that it will be convincing for your audience to speak. And one more message, this is very important. Before you speak to public, you need to know your audience, because there are 3 types of audience. 1/3 of the audience, they are below than the content you are delivering. When you speak certain things, 1/3 of the people, they would say, I'm confused. I don't know what he's talking about. I don't understand that way, because they don't understand your speech. Because the message you deliver may be a little bit higher than their capacity to understand. That is 1/3. The middle 1/3 of the people, they would say, wow, what a speech this is. It's very convincing, very, very clear, to the point. I understood many things out of this, very useful. And I would love to listen to him later again and again. And then is there any YouTube channels of them? I want to listen to him further, more, so that I can learn more from him. That's so convincing. That is the second 1/3. The last 1/3 is about the people, they are beyond that message, meaning when you talk, they would say, what is he talking about? I don't understand this very, very, very inferior quality message he's delivering here. Why this is about? I expected something more. It's so boring. That is the case. So that you have all these 3, 1/3, the lower the topic, and 1/3 is on the topic. The rest of the 1/3 is about that topic. So It is difficult for you to figure out this if you're making a presentation for a big public audience. But if you're making a lecture for a specific crowd, you know their capacity, so that you can design your topic accordingly. So politicians, like leaders and politicians, when they go to the public, you would see all these three different types of people. That's why in a meeting like that, or maybe a religious sermon, when that happens, half of the people, 1/3 of the people, they're sleeping because they don't understand what you're talking about. And 1/3 is so much interested, they're gloating at you, looking at the words that you're throwing to their face. And the rest of the 1/3, they would say, I have listened to this message already. Let me go out and come back, get some fresh air and join the meeting later. Or otherwise, let me join on the next meeting from the other lecturer that way. So you have to do the audience analysis, the age, the profession, the knowledge they have, the background, the reason why they are there for, the gender ratio, all those things you may study, their industry capacity, their language capacity, their terminology capacity. Sometimes good speakers, to show their quality, what they do, they design their talk using very powerful or very specific, high advanced terminologies of that particular topic. If you are talking about psychology, there are so many terminologies we use. If that is about law, there are so many terminologies that we use. If it is medicine, yes, there are so many. And if you speak all this language to a layman or a man not from that profession, they may not understand what you're talking about. If you're a doctor making a lecture for some patients, you should not use your medical terms to them, jargons, medical terminologies, because they won't understand. So that's why you have to be very selective about the message, your words, your terms that you throw to your people. Then you can keep the people listening to you. Otherwise, they would take that your attention somewhere else. So I hope that this message has given you some good information today. This may be helpful to you to build your lecturing or public speaking or convincing or sales and marketing strategy in your life. Good luck with it. Have a great evening. I see you next Sunday. Have a good night. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.